My name is Chris Asaro, and I am president of Holt Construction. Holt Construction is one of the country's leading builders, and we are especially recognized for our work in the aviation sector with a large portfolio in the Northeast as well as across the country. We have been working at Newark Liberty International Airport for over 30 years, and our offices at the airport are always open to you. Holt is very committed to diversity and including small and local businesses, especially MWBEs, local businesses, and veteran-owned businesses in our projects. Our work also supports local residents to help them build a career in construction. This year, we have launched a new program, Building Newark Airport Together. That features special sessions every Friday, noon to 1 p.m. These sessions provide you with important information about contract and career opportunities and will open the gate to building your business and your career with us. Today's session, Ready to Consider a Career in the Building Trades, is for those of you who want to better understand how to enter the construction industry. We are pleased to have with us two important organizations, the Elizabeth Development Company and Newark Works, who can help local New Jersey residents gain information about how to launch that journey to great jobs in the building trades through special pre-apprenticeship programs. Now, it's my pleasure to welcome your program host, Alexandria Parati, Holt's Director of Corporate Initiatives and Strategic Planning. Welcome, Alex.
Thanks, Chris. I'm Alexandria Parati, and I'm pleased to serve as your program host for our Opportunity Friday series. Opportunity Fridays are important sessions that will introduce you to what you need to know about working with Holt Construction, as well as the specific contract packages that are available for bidding on Newark's Terminal A. We also want local residents to learn more about how they can work with Holt Construction, as well as on our airport projects. As an organization, Holt is truly committed to building Newark Airport together. Each of our Opportunity Friday sessions are devoted to a specific topic and include an opportunity for live questions and answers. At the end of each informational session, we will review direct contract opportunities that you may be interested in bidding once you have pre-qualified with us. So let's get started with today's session. Ready to consider a career in the building trades? Meet the Elizabeth Development Company and Newark Works and their pre-apprenticeship programs. Before we begin this session, let's meet David Muhammad, Administrator at the City of Newark. Welcome, David.
Welcome. My name is David Muhammad. I serve as the City of Newark's Administrator for the Office of Airport and Seaport Administration. On behalf of Mayor Raz J. Baraka, Deputy Mayor of Employment Rahman Muhammad, I would like to express how excited we are to be working with the Port Authority and Holt Construction on a workforce program for Newark residents for the build out in the concessions area of the new state-of-the-art Terminal A at Newark Liberty International Airport. I ask you to keep your eyes open for more information about pre-apprenticeship programs that can get you on your way to becoming a tradesperson in one of the construction building trades unions. We hope to see you soon in your hard hats and construction boots, and thank you.
Now let's start with today's session. Are you ready to consider a career in the building trades? Meet the Elizabeth Development Company and Newark Works and their pre-apprenticeship programs. Pre-apprenticeship programs are an excellent first step in navigating a career in the building trades. This session will provide you with a better understanding of how a pre-apprenticeship program can assist you in your career path in construction. This session features the Elizabeth Development Company and Newark Works, as well as their pre-apprenticeship programs that are specially designed for local New Jersey residents who want to join the building trades. Now let's start with our panel and have them self-introduce. Edgar, would you like to start for us today?
Yes, thank you. Again, Edgar Lopez. I am the Director of Neighborhood Revitalization and Workforce Development at the Elizabeth Development Company.
Eva, could you introduce yourself?
Yes, thank you, Alexander. My name is Eva Anauchi, Program Manager from the Newark Workforce Development Board.
Great. Thank you both for joining us this afternoon. I've got some great questions and I'm sure our audience is going to have more questions for you, just to find a little bit more about your programs and how you help the community members in both Elizabeth and Newark. First question, let's start with you, Edgar. What are some of the programs that are available to local New Jersey residents?
Sure, we have open enrollment in our pre-apprenticeship program. We have several offerings. Right now, we're doing enrollment for an electrical assistant class. In total, it's about 350 hours. It includes OSHA 30 certification. We also have a standalone OSHA 30 certification course coming up. And we're also doing CDL Class A and Class B training. Great.
And Eva, how about for Newark Works? What are some of the programs that are available through your organization for local New Jersey residents?
For Newark Works, we have several opportunities for our residents. We have vocational training opportunities, which are grant funded. So these are free to all residents. And in these vocational trainings, it's really dependent on what the resident or the participant want to do. So we have HVAC, CDL, CNA, home health aid, IT, green infrastructure. So we have a host of programs and opportunities and careers in the various sectors, which
That's
also
great.
includes, of course, logistics, manufacturing. So anything that they want to do, we have.
That's perfect. So it sounds like, so you both do pretty much about the same thing, but Edgar, you're handling the town of Elizabeth and that area, and Eva, you handle Newark and the surrounding area. Is that how you guys are broken apart?
Correct.
Great.
Alex, we cover all Union County and Essex County.
Perfect. Okay. So then if someone resides in Newark, Eva, they would go to your organization, and Edgar, if someone is in Union County or Elizabeth or Essex County, they would go to your organization.
Sure, like the towns outside Newark, like the Oranges, Irvington, etc.
Okay, great.
We do also do that too, because again, being a part of our local one-stop, which is, again, we are also state funded. So it doesn't matter who it is that walk through our doors, we will service them. So
that's great.
We are open to all New Jerseyans as long as, they can access us and access the trainings within reasonable distance.
That's great. And a pre-apprenticeship program is how someone gets into an apprenticeship program. So it's the first step into becoming an apprentice and then becoming a tradesman, right? That's how this works for both of you, correct?
Correct.
Great. Eva, next question. What are the requirements for someone if they send you an email and they want to get into your program? What general requirements does someone have to have for Newark Works?
So for our general requirements, it's just the basic general requirements. They must be 18 and older, be a resident of the state or of the city, the county, have, what we consider their 6 points, have their high school diploma, birth certificate, proof of address or residency, so all of that. But what also we do is that if a person has any barriers in obtaining any of those documents, we help them overcome those barriers and we work with them to obtain those barriers so they can become eligible for any of our programs.
That's great. So if someone doesn't have a high school diploma, you help with that. So it's not a barrier for entry. It's something that you can help them with to get into your program.
Correct. We have a workforce learning link unit, which helps those that may have issues with math or reading. So once we help them bring that literacy component up, then of course we send them to a GED or an HSE school where they will be able to obtain their high school diploma, and then from there we can enroll them in a program. And sometimes we are able to dual enroll them in both the HSE and the vocational, depending on what training they're interested in.
That's great. Edgar, what are your program requirements for Elizabeth Development Corp?
Sure, the requirements are almost identical to Eva's. There may be, we ask for high school transcripts. We want to have those in hand because many trade unions require those as part of the application process. But it's mostly following the same protocols.
Great. So it sounds like you guys are doing great work to help the community members to break through barriers, to get a great job in the trades. It sounds like such good work that you guys both do. How long does it take, Edgar, for your program to go through your program? Does it depend on what trade you're looking at, or how long does it tend to go through?
It does, because the trade unions that have the registered apprenticeship programs, they have applications that open up at specific times of the year. So I think the plumbers union, they'll have theirs in the spring. The finishing trades will have one towards the summer, and then one again in the winter. That's how they usually do it. So if we get someone in now, we'll start, getting the paperwork ready. If we can put them in a training class, we will. If we can get them their OSHA 30 certification, we'll do that. And then we will get them ready to apply to, either go online or line up. Every trade union has a different application process. So it could take anywhere from a few weeks to maybe 5-6 months. It depends on what the participant wants to do.
Great. And Eva, for your program, is it the same? Is it depend on what trade craft they want to go into?
Correct. It depends on the trade craft they want to do or what kind of training they want to do. So sometimes it could take anywhere from 3 months to 6 months to a year. So it depends on the type of trade or the program, the requirements, like Mr. Lopez said, and basically also how fast and how consistent the participant is in doing what they need to do in order to get enrolled.
That's great. So how do you handle if someone already has a job, but they're looking for a career change and they're working their 9 to 5, but they want to get into the apprenticeship program? Is there a concession that's made, or is it flexible hours? How can they still have their regular 9 to 5, but also pursue this pre-apprenticeship program, Eva?
Yes. So for us currently, so before, before we enroll, a participant or a resident into a program, first of all, we invite them in, they sit with the vocational counselor who do an assessment on them to see, what their needs are and what their barriers are. And again, we are very upfront and transparent with them, and we expect them to be the same. So if, let's say someone say, oh, I'm really interested in this trade, but I have a 9 to 5, of course, you do need to survive to be able to, do what you got to do. So then, of course, we go back to our training vendors and say, hey, is there a way that if we have X amount of people who are interested in a night class, is that a possibility, a day class or like a afternoon class? So we do work with them and then also work with our training vendors as well to see how well we'll be able to bridge that. And for us, sometimes we are also able to offer a stipend, which may help the student or participant feel better about being able to join a class at a particular time that may not be conducive to them, but then they're getting a stipend in a way which will help offset some of the costs that they're afraid of, having to be stuck with.
Yeah. Edgar, how about for your program? What do you do? Is there a hybrid model? Is it online? Do you offer, if someone does have a 9 to 5 and they do want the career change, how does your program work?
Yeah, Alex, basically all of the above. We have Saturday classes, night classes. We have some classes online. So yeah, we try to accommodate. We understand that it's a challenge for a lot of people to make a career change.
Yeah, that's great. It sounds like definitely breaking down all the barriers. And I've heard from other people that they have been afraid to, leave their normal 9 to 5 to go pursue a brand new career because they are, afraid to lose that, money that they're making already. And then it's a very scary thing, especially if you have a family, but both of your organizations are doing great work to help reduce that fear. Edgar, how does your program lead to the apprenticeship programs? You do the training. How does that work? How do you lead in?
Sure. So the registered apprenticeship programs are in high demand. There's a lot of people applying for them. And often people who hear about them last minute, they're not prepared. For example, they won't have their driver's license ready, or they don't know what documentation that they need to bring. They may not even know where to go. So we help them with that process to get their docs in order, to be at the application location on time. If there is enough time, we put them into a training course. That way we can bolster their resume, make them more competitive. We prep them for the interview, and some unions have very demanding math aptitude testing, so we prepare them for that so they can be successful.
That's great. And Eva, for Newark Works, how does your program lead into the apprenticeship program?
It's similar to Mr. Lopez, except that, you know, we always have two tracks. So we have those that may already be in an apprenticeship, but then they want to switch. So again, then we follow the same methodology where, you know, we make sure that they prep for whatever the needs of that particular union or apprenticeship program is. But then when we come, and then of course we have the pre-apprenticeship programs, which is for those that want to be in an apprenticeship program, but then they're not sure. So then we enroll them in that pre-apprenticeship program. And then in the end, with most of our training vendors, we do have relationships with the unions. So as they're in the pre-apprenticeship program, they have the opportunity to be mentored by the various apprenticeship programs, or they get internships and externships as they are in the pre-apprenticeship program. So in the end, they have a better understanding of what apprenticeship they actually want to do, and they get enrolled that way.
Yeah, that's a really good point, because I know myself, I started out at one career path and then totally jumped over into another career path. So if someone thinks they want to be in the electrical union and then, some way through they say, yeah, I'd rather be, a plumber, I'd rather be this or that. Does your program, Eva, do you tell them exactly what the electrician does, what the plumber does, so that they can look at those and decide which one is best for them?
Absolutely, absolutely. Our counselors are well versed in that. So again, once you sit with the counselor, you go through your IP or your ISP, which helps you kind of differentiate exactly what it is based on. Also, we assess what your strengths are. Yes, you do want to do this, but do you have what it takes? How's your math, your reading, your basically your competency to be able to do what you want to do. So we help you decide that, and hence why we have the pre-apprenticeship programs, because that allow people to have a touch point on most of the building trades. So if this week or this cohort you learning this, then the next cohort you are open to another set of another building trade. So then you be able to make that choice yourself. Now I don't want to do the electrical. I'm more like hands-on into plumbing, so that's what I prefer. So that's how we do it.
Great. Edgar, are there any fees that someone entering your program would have to incur? Is there any cost?
No, there's no cost. We are funded through private and public grants. And we, one of the things that we pride ourselves in is making the process as easy as possible, removing barriers to entry. So we cover application fees, drug testing fees. We can reimburse costs related to the program. So we also provide a stipend while people are training and in class. So
That's
no fees.
Great. That's great. Eva, for your program for Newark Works, are there any fees or any costs that people would need to be aware of?
Nope, absolutely not. Again, we are state funded under WIOA and other private funds as well. So again, there are no costs associated with it. We help with transportation. We help with, supplies, supporting services if that is needed, books, uniforms for the building trades if that's needed. And of course, the stipends as well, drug screening, everything. So it's free. We just ask you to come on in and let's go, because it's free.
That's great. Now, what other programs, Eva, do you do through Newark Works? Do you do anything else that's not construction trade related? Are there any other programs that you run through Newark Works?
Yes, we have a lot because we are again tied with the state. So again, as a part of the one-stop ecosystem, we do a lot. So we have green infrastructure programs for those that are in the green energy sectors. Because again, we also have a partnership with PSE&G that we help out with. We have the health sector. We have manufacturing, logistics. So basically whatever people want to do. And we also, through our state partners, we also have tuition waivers for those that want to go to college, those that want to, completely change their degrees and all of that. So we have everything, right? Everything that a person want to do. And we also have our youth part. We also have our youth office, which services clients from 16 to 24. So there goes that as well, where they, teach financial literacy, computer skills, resume writing, job placement. So anything that can help a person to sustain a livable wage, we do it.
That's great. And then all of that information is available on your website. Eva, can you give that for everybody? And we'll put it in the chat so everybody has it.
Yep, so our website is, our first website is the nlwdb.org website. And then we have our newarkworks.org website as well.
That's great. Edgar, for you, what other programs outside of the trades do you guys offer through Elizabeth Development Corporation? And if you could also give your website here, and we'll put it in the chat so everybody has, so they could see your opportunities.
Sure. So apart from our pre-apprenticeship programs, we have SORA, which is a security officers certification by the New Jersey State Police. We have a hospitality program that's set to start in the spring or summer of this year. So, you know, that caters to the large leisure industry that we have in our area, the airport, right? So those are the programs we offer. And when we can't accommodate the interests of some participants, we do refer them to our local one-stops like Newark Works. So
that's great. So it seems like you guys both work well with each other, your neighbors, your Newark and Elizabeth. So you guys have a plethora of information that people can gather and for opportunities for employment and changing your career path. So I wanted to thank both of you very much for joining us today. I hope everyone gained a lot of information, and you contact Eva and Edgar at their organizations. And thank you for joining us today. Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining us. Before we get to our live panel for your questions, let's go through the current opportunities at Newark's Terminal A. Project number 1, due to release at the end of Q1 of 2022, is a 60,000 square foot ground up construction and interior installation. This project will have the following scopes of work: building, scaffolding, protection, cleaning labor, fence construction, site, civil, utilities, driven piles and foundation work, concrete foundations, structure, masonry, exterior, roofing, masonry interior, stairs, elevators, escalators, structural steel, ornamental iron, roof guardrails, wall panels and louvers, curtain walls, flooring, doors, exterior and interior, floodgates, fire curtains, windows, skylights, drywall, carpentry, ceiling systems, tile and stone, terrazzo flooring, walls, painting and ceilings, wall coverings, elevators, glass elevators, elevator service works, escalators, sprinklers, plumbing, HVAC, fire alarm, electric, debris removal, soil removal, and substation equipment. That is a large project due to release at the end of Q1 2022. Project number 2 is a 35,000 square foot club and terminal fit out, due to release also Q1 2022. Early works packages are currently being bid for electrical, plumbing, and HVAC. Please make sure you check our website. We'll put that in the chat for those packages right now. Next, scopes of work for this package will be existing conditions, a little bit of demolition work, concrete, metals, ornamental steel, wood, plastics, thermal and moisture protection, drywall, doors and hardware, ceiling systems, tile and stone, flooring, which would include carpet, VCT, painting, millwork packages, specialties, storefront and signage, conveying equipment, fire suppression, plumbing, HVAC, electric, and security and safety works. Next project, project number 9. This project is being released next week for bidding opportunity. Make sure you all have your pre-qualifications in and approved with Holt Construction so that you can be part of receiving these bid packages. Project number 9 is a 73 7,300 square foot airline lounge. Within this package is the following trades: structural steel, carpentry, millwork, custom and casework, toilet partitions, flooring, which includes carpet, tile, and terrazzo, signage and graphics, glass, plumbing, mechanical, fire alarm, and sprinkler works. Last opportunity to go over for today is project number 10. This opportunity as well will be released next week. So again, make sure if you have any questions for the pre-qualification, you send an email to us at ewrta@holtcc.com, and we will get you a pre-qualification link. And if you have questions on a pre-qual that's already been submitted, ask us your questions there. We'll put that email into the chat as well. Last project due to release next week is 6,150 square foot airline spaces. These are airline support spaces, lots of offices, which would include the following trades: concrete and masonry, flood barriers, carpentry, millwork and casework, toilet partitions, flooring, signage and graphics, plumbing, mechanical, electrical, fire alarm, and sprinkler. And if I spoke a little quick, all the opportunities are listed on our website. And with that being said, I would like to introduce back our panelists, Eva and Edgar. Welcome again. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Alexandra. Happy to be here.
Thank you, Alex.
Let's go through some of the questions that we have in the chat. Some of these questions are going to go over a couple things that we touched upon, but we're going to touch upon them again just to make sure that everybody has all the information they need to get a job. The first question is, how can I connect with the staff at the Elizabeth Development Company? So Edgar, if someone wants to connect with your staff, could you read off the email address again and let them know how to do that? And we'll put that in the chat.
Sure. My email address is elopez@edcnj.org.
Great.
And my phone number is 908-289-0262.
That's dangerous giving out your phone number, but I love it, Edgar.
Oh, it's my office number.
Eva, how about you? Could you give your email address as well and how to contact you if people have questions?
Yes, so my email address is anochie@ci.newark.nj.us. And my office line is 973-733-3757. And they can also call our main line, which is 973-733-8500.
Now, the next question, I know we touched on it a little bit, but let's hit on it again. Eva, for you, what are the requirements for entering a pre-apprenticeship program for Newark Works? What are the requirements that you have?
So the person must be 18 and up, have a GED or high school diploma, and live in Newark or around Essex County, and proof of have a valid driver's license, and that's about it.
And Eva, if to follow up on that, if someone doesn't have their high school diploma or they don't have their driver's license, do you give them help with how to acquire those items?
Yes, we do. So if somebody doesn't have their GED or high school diploma, we will enroll them with one of our training vendors that provide GED or high school diploma classes. And also, if they're in need of assistance with getting their driver's license, we will definitely help them with that as well. We will assign them a counselor who will, just work with them and our contacts at DMV and help the person get the driver's license that is needed.
Great. Edgar, what are the entrance requirements for your program for Elizabeth Development Company?
Sure. So they're very similar to Eva's. We need a valid driver's license, a high school diploma. Like with Eva, we can assist for people who have a suspended license. We can help them out. If you don't have your high school diploma, we'll set up a time frame in which you can get it. Your GED. And that's basically 2 forms of ID to fill out the application, and that's it to get started.
That's great. Eva, the next question is for you. What happens if I'm not able to meet one of the requirements of the pre-apprenticeship program? Do you help guide them through if they're missing one piece? You'll help guide. I know you help them with the GED and the license, so it sounds like you would be willing to help them and any questions.
Yes. So if, they're missing, we just work with you. We give you a time frame and we work with you. So whatever it is that is the barrier, we just make sure that we work in tandem with other agencies that may be able to help until we conquer that barrier and enroll you in the program that you desire.
That's great. So Edgar, same thing for you. If someone's missing one piece, you help them get over that hurdle, right?
Yeah, exactly. We help them also prepare for, when union applications open up, they have to have those items in hand because the unions only have applications at certain points of the year. So, we help them prepare their folder so that they're ready to apply.
So it sounds like, if someone, no one should be afraid to come to one of your organizations and ask questions, even if they don't have a license or if they don't have a GED or they have some kind of issue. It seems like both of your organizations are open and willing to help them with anything. So there really would be no question on coming to you. You have counselors that can help them and guide them through. Edgar, if someone's not exactly sure what they want to do you go through what they, what a menu of opportunities that they could have?
Yes, yeah, we sit with each person individually. We try to assess their job readiness, but also under the construction umbrella, what trade they want to apply to. So some people are driven more towards the electrical field. So we go through the requirements for that union. Others are driven more to carpentry. We explain that. We work with them so that they can submit an application to that particular union. Then there's a plumbing union. Just under construction, there's so much variety. And some people want to apply to everything. And if they're so motivated, then we help them out in that way as well.
Here's a good question, Edgar. I'll stick with you since you just finished. I already have a job, but I'm looking to change careers. Are there options for virtual evening weekend programs? So that is something that is, if someone's already working and they do want to change, sometimes they feel a little stuck because they don't want to lose their income from their 9 to 5. So do you offer virtual? Are there virtual programs or weekends? How do you navigate that with someone?
Sure, yeah. When someone's coming from another field into construction, it's quite a change. So we do have Saturday classes. We're starting one next week, actually. But we do it seasonally and periodically. So there will be more classes, and we do have some classes online. Yes.
Great. Eva, for your organization, how do you handle virtual, or if somebody's working a 9 to 5? Are you flexible?
Yes, we are flexible. But then it depends again on what the person is looking to do. Because when we had in the midst of COVID, sometime last year, the state allowed us to work with our vendors. So each and every one of them that's wanted to continue working, they submitted, of course, the COVID protocol. Then the states approve it just to make sure that we are still working in a safe and healthy environment. So some vendors do have that option where it's some type of a hybrid model where you do the other, but then if it's really hands-on, then of course they take into consideration all the safety protocols, because I do believe that with construction, there is a lot of hands-on. You definitely have to be in class for some version of it. So yes, we are also working on that as well to see how we can bridge the gap for that.
Great. Eva, I'm going to stick with you because you just finished. The next question says, do I get paid to be part of a pre-apprenticeship program? So if someone's in a pre-apprenticeship program, is that something that gets paid?
So with this current pre-apprenticeship program, we do have a stipend associated with the program. So you do get a weekly stipend, correct?
Great. Edgar, how about for your program?
Yes, the stipends are based on attendance, and those who are receiving training are eligible to receive it.
Great. The next question is, let's see. Oh, this is a great question. Eva, what fees are involved in the pre-apprenticeship program through Newark Works?
There are no fees. There are absolutely no fees. This is completely free to any resident that is interested in being a part of it.
Great.
We cover all fees.
Great. Edgar, for Elizabeth Development, any fees that anyone would incur for joining?
No, there are no fees. We cover the expenses of each program participant through our grants and private funding.
Great. The next question, Eva, what happens after someone completes your program? What happens when they complete the pre-apprenticeship program through Newark Works? What's the next step?
So once a person completes the pre-apprenticeship program, it is our hope that by the time they complete, they are more in tune with the kind of apprenticeship they actually want to do. And then we work in tandem with our apprenticeship partners to enroll them into that particular apprenticeship. But even before they get out of the pre-apprenticeships, our training partners, they also have relationships with the unions. So they do internships and externships with the participants, so which also helps them to be able to make those choices or to actually find a job. And some of them may not be interested in actually being in a union, so we help them find other jobs that are non-unionized as well.
That's great. Edgar, for your organization, what happens next after they went through your program? What do they do next? What can they expect?
Sure. So once they complete the application, we determine if they need training. So if they need additional training, we'll send them to train either in a general construction class, electrical assistant, or OSHA 30 certification. And if there's a union application that opens up, we help them get prepared for that. We do a math aptitude test preparation, interview prep, and all that stuff, just so to make sure that the schedule aligns with the application dates at the particular union.
That's great. Now, I know that the unions have certain timeframes when they open up, when they open their doors for new members. Is there any enrollment period, Eva, for Newark Works that people should be cognizant of, or is it any time? Is any time better than one time? Is there a certain time of the year that's better, or is it whenever they're ready, come on in?
So for our pre-apprenticeship programs, it runs. So we have it in cohorts. So based on how the recruitment is, so we would have it because it lasts it's about 6 months. So, but we try to run 2 cohorts at a time that goes in parallel with each other. So the first one we started was in last year. I think they're in their 3rd month. So we'll try to do it maybe, let's say, twice or 3 times in the year.
Great. Edgar, is there any time best for Elizabeth's development to come on in anytime, or is there any time better that you think?
The best time is now.
That's great. Because the unions every union has a different period of time when they accept the apprentices, right?
Correct.
That's what I've seen. Some states where the unions are, they're all together, but in New Jersey, they're all separate. So they're all at different times, which could be good and it could be bad. So if you don't get into one union, you could try another. So it has its benefits and its setbacks as well. Eva, someone wants your email address again. So we're going to put that in the chat for you.
Okay.
Edgar, we're going to put your email address again in the chat. Next question is, I'm a nurse with clinical and administrative experience looking for a career change. What positions could I qualify for at Holt Construction? Oh, well, that's for me. So in our safety department, we actually have a nurse as one of our safety officers. That could be a good career path for you. You could try, we have opportunities everywhere at Holt. So if you want to send me your resume at ewrta@holtcc.com. I will pick up your resume and I'll send it over to our HR department. And if you want to send in that email what you like to do or what you're interested in, we have office staff positions. We have a lot of training. We have a 360 rotational program, which takes someone through all of our departments at Holt, so you can get a taste for everything that we do. And then at the end of that program, you decide what you want to be at the end of that. So you would go through accounting and estimating and construction and safety. We would put you through all of those departments so you can see which department is right for you. So shoot me over an email with your resume and I will take care of that for you. And I think that's our last question for today. I think everybody wants to get home early and get ready with the shovels for the snow.
Yeah.
So thank you, Eva, and thank you, Edgar. This was great. I think you helped a lot of people demystify how to get into the programs and maybe give them a little light at the end of the tunnel that if they're in a career that they're not happy with right now, that they could go into something else. There are other opportunities. You're not stuck where you are. If you have a family, if you already have a job, but you're looking to change, Newark Works and Elizabeth Development Corporation, they offer you great opportunities and ways that you can change your career. So you guys both do beautiful work for the community, and thank you so much for joining us today. I want to thank everybody for joining us. I want to remind everybody to join us next week. Next week is a session on, is this project right for me? It's going to identify when you're looking at a project, if it's too large, if it's too small, if the project is right for your company. We're going to have Joe Martinez, our head of pre-construction services. He's here live to answer your questions. So join us again next Friday at 1 o'clock. And I wish you all a great weekend. Thank you, Eva and Edgar, and everybody. Goodbye.